it or go.
Give in to your natural instincts of killing
Bernardo
your
had it all
foes.
squared away in his head. He would kill the Emperor. Isengrim III had begun well, but he had gone mad. He was trying to invoke the lost gods by means of dark, blasphemous rituals. That was a secret. But the victims had spoken to Renardo. The ghosts had spoken. No. No anger. Renardo could not afford anger. It was empowering the crystal in his sword. That made him stronger, but it clouded his mind. He would not be a hero. A hero strives. Renardo would just be one with everything. The Emperor would die, and the wheel would turn, and all would be restored without rancor, without sorrow, without pain. What else could you hook?
I wonder what the water sword's special ability is.
That actually is a good question. Because fire, that's obvious. You'd think like the water one would be a healing one.
Or ice.
Well, ice, you would just give it to be the freezing one. Well, I would always assume ice would always be the one to freeze.
Yeah, but they may have done water as ice.
He was practically sure he'd find something useful in one of these things.
So now it's this gauntlet again. At least on the upside, I now know that this heals me. But now there's even more enemies to deal with. Mr. Explodies.
One. One extra enemy.
Any type. So kind of interesting that they're introducing the new enemy types throughout multiple playthroughs.
I think that's better. It kind of gives you something new to look at.
This was much easier than free climbing.
Now that I'm
But the more he
using
thought
the sword
about
energy.
it, and he had so much more time to think about it now that he was not worrying about the battle. Killing the Emperor would not change anything. Another would take his place. Perhaps Zenobia. Perhaps the Speaker of the Rebel Council, and power would corrupt them too, and death would make grief, and grief would lead to hatred. He must lead by example. Reject the violence. Reject the desire to create violence. But how?
Okay, this is really starting to seem like this actually might be one of the good endings.
Maybe. But you're not there.
Yeah. There could still always be a random BS plot twist like, Ronaldo backstabs you at the last second.
But we don't know he's bad in this time through.
We didn't know he was bad in that time through either. Because that happened literally at the last second.
Aren't you supposed to jump on the ships?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know nothing.
I was waiting for it to, like, stop or get somewhere. No! Not my favorite 2x4s!
Interrupted story time. caught the lead raven. And we'll never find out how it ended.
You interrupted story time?
No, they'll never know how that story ends. I don't like how he drags the sword off the ground.
Okay, this sword's like the best one for combat, because just shattering them is an
so
instant
it freezes
kill.
and shatters.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say.
It's more of it freezes and then damage just shatters them. So the fire sword's kind of pointless. Because why even bother setting them on fire to do some more damage when you can just instantly kill everything?
Because I think with the water sword, it's a chance. The fire sword, it's more guaranteed.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. Now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Oh, new one.
Kill the healer.
Yeah, it seems to be like,
Oh, it's whenever you use your hero ability.
yeah, it's when I use the energy. Which with that gem, I get energy back every time I kill something. Okay, maybe the water sword just, or the ice sword just costs more. That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, cool, it leveled up. Oh, here we go. New ending time.
Finally, he came to the Emperor's ship. The path behind him was strewn with dead ravens. The path to enlightenment. His mistake, he realized, was trying to change the world. The world would spin and the wheel would revolve whether he strove against it or not. What he had to do was nothing. He had attained enlightenment. He sat down, adopted a full lotus position, and began to meditate. And all around him, the warriors stopped fighting too. They knew. They could feel his enlightenment. They gave up fighting, dropped their weapons, and became his disciples.
What?
No, just kidding. The nearest raven stabbed him with a sword and then chopped off his head. I might not have thought this through properly. Thought Renado's head as it rolled around the deck and died.
Great ending, babe.
Renato stared at the book. He was still alive. Again. And still only flying away from burning Ubar. Had he lived that adventure? Or only dreamt it? Had he really died? It felt so real, not like a dream at all. And he'd lost again. Oh, he hated that.
How stupid!
But he had made different choices. And he'd lost in a different way. It was the book, wasn't it? Oracles showed you your destiny. But this was showing him different ways he could die miserably. Thanks a bunch, book, he thought. But these were destinies that he did not have to fulfill. But he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
Okay.
Yay. Return of the... That enlightenment bullshit just kind of seemed to come right the fuck out of nowhere at the end.
Just like you said, watch. They pull some weird bullshit ending. I think this is a good ending.